welcome to Synchronicity. Look at me doing podcasts regularly. What the fuck is this shit, huh? Pretty crazy. Before we get to the episode, let's talk about those Miami fucking Dolphins. Holy shit. Guys, again, this is the barometer. This is the totem that guarantees that we're not living in a complete dreamlike reality, is the Dolphins not being good. The Dolphins have not, I've been a Dolphins fan since I've been 8 years old, right? Early 90s. They have not been good since then. I made a horrible choice and chose him as my favorite team. I love Dan Marino. He was incredible, and it kind of put me on this path of rooting for a team that has just sucked the living life out of my soul every season. It is heartbreaking. I've shed real tears watching this team play. Tears of joy, very seldom. It's just a miserable existence, and they're fucking good, guys. They beat the Buffalo Billiards. Holy shit. Wow. What a game. Just truly amazing. I don't even know what to say. It's just such a joy. I haven't seen a team this good in 30 years. I don't know what to do with myself. The Dolphins are now a source of joy. It's incredible. I don't even know. I'm just in awe of this existence and what is actually taking place. We play the Bengals Thursday night. This should be out before then. I hope we win. 4-0 would be incredible. I just don't. I'm apoplectic. Is that the right word? I just don't even know what to do with myself. It's just pure, unadulterated joy, which I'm just so not used to with this football team. So that's what a breath of fresh air it is. I love it. I love our coach, Mike McDaniel. What a cool guy. I know this is why you're tuning into the show, to hear me talk about the Miami Dolphins and an archaic, ridiculous sport like football. That's why you're tuning in, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the reason. So today we're going to do a little bit. I think I'm going to do this once a month. We're going to go with the straight tarot reading episode. I'll pepper in some other stuff if the mood strikes me, but let's do some tarot. Let's do some energy readings. Let's get a sense of what's going on for the month of October. Get a little preview of what we can expect. We'll do some in-depth readings here. I got my mic stand set up, so I got my hands free. I think it should be really interesting. I will say, been doing a lot of readings since I've been back from Turkey, and, themes tend to pile up when you're doing these readings. You get a lot of similar type of energies, even if people are looking for clarity or insight into different aspects of their life. It's really interesting to see how kind of the dominant energy of what's going on seems to infiltrate or play a role in what everyone is going through. It's one of the reasons I like doing reading so much, is it really gives you perspective on what's going on in your life, but also just you get kind of a bird's eye view of everything that's happening, especially people who are tuned in to this particular breed of whatever the fuck I'm doing. I don't know. So yeah, it's been a kind of, the way I describe it, it's kind of stuck in the mud. A lot of people, I think, because COVID shut things down for so many people for so long. That's a giant spider I'm looking at. Okay. We'll let that one rock. It's far enough away from me. Cool. But the dominant energy seems to be kind of treading water. You're not going to get a lot of shit done. That's kind of the way I want to say it. Do your stuff, plan accordingly, but don't feel too discouraged if you're just frustrated in your endeavors and your activities. It's just kind of the vibe of what's going on right now. I know people wanted to get out there with all of their plans and do all of these things they've been wanting to do for years, and we kind of got shut down for a little bit, but don't be discouraged if the things you're kind of working on or going for aren't coming to fruition right now. It's just this period. I'd call it the calm before the storm. Hopefully the storm is not a fucking hurricane of doom and chaos. It could be. We don't know. The spider is freaking me the fuck out. Why is it so big? Please go away from me. Don't come closer. I don't want to scream on this podcast. Okay. All right. Fun times. But yeah, it's just like, don't push too hard right now. It's not the vibe. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's really kind of taking stock, gathering our resources, making plans if we want to, work on the shit that you want to be doing, but don't like get too down on yourself if things aren't as flowy or as smooth or working out as successfully as you would like them to. A lot of it has to do with, dealing with impatience and frustration and how we respond to those challenges. That seems to be kind of like a very big theme of what's going on with the global consciousness. If you're killing it and everything is flowy, great for you. How cool it is for you. But I just, in general, it doesn't seem to be the dominant energy that's surrounding us right now. And I think that makes sense. We're kind of in this like post-pandemic hangover. Can we just talk about how COVID just ended? Like everyone just collectively was like, "Now we're not doing this anymore." Yeah, it's still out there, but like we're done. We literally don't care. I do wonder for the people who got so worked up about COVID and whether you were vaccinated or not. Like, how do you reconcile that? Like, no one cares anymore. Do you just like feel like it's just weird to me how worked up people got over this and then it just kind of faded into obscurity. It's odd. It's odd. I'm sure. Do you remember people were like, the unvaccinated people should die. They're fucking assholes. How dare they? It's like, Jesus, you were like advocating for people's death and misery because you didn't agree with their particular stance on how they chose to deal with an illness. Like, what? Why? What does that get you? I don't know. Just in general, it's just I found it's a wise idea to not get overly judgmental with people's decisions that pretty much don't affect you. Even if you think that they might, they don't. It's you. It's your world. We're all just living in it. Your reactions, your moods determine kind of what is going on, right, in your life, like to a degree that is probably unfathomable, like how much control and agency you have over your life and the world you find yourself in, right? The idea here is that everything outside externally is you pushed out. It's your perceptions, your moods, your feelings, your expectations. That's what we experience as the world. We phase in and out of time and space to kind of experience our own projections, which is, great when everything is going hunky-dory and super smooth. Not so fun when shit is chaotic, because guess who you have to blame? Yourself. Boo. Can't we just find, we should just have 100 people in the world who are nominated that we blame for everything all the time. And they just, they'll rotate in and out, and we can just be like, hey, it's Bob's fault. Fucking Bob fucked us over again, piece of shit. Yeah, Sally made everything bad again. I mean, it would just be a more effective way than just randomly picking people and getting mad at them. Not randomly, but whatever, who doesn't align with your social, political, moral, ethical rules. I don't know. Just if you knew the amount of harm you did to your own life and your own sanity and your own emotions by judging and getting mad at other people, you'd probably, I'd like to say you'd probably stop, but you wouldn't. We don't. We still do it, but it's okay. But try to kind of pull back, rein in that judgment, because it affects so much in your life. That you end up losing sight of just how much it's impacting, and you don't want to go into a nihilistic death spiral of despair, unless you do. That could, I guess, be cool in some ways. So let's get to the readings. We're gonna do we'll do a Celtic Cross, right? I'm gonna be shuffling these cards. We'll do a Celtic Cross for the month of October. Don't know how long this episode is gonna be. They don't have to be so long. I think it's just more important that they're getting done, right? Jeez, I'm back. Fuck. Just give me a break, guys. So let's pull some cards. Celtic Cross, one of my favorite readings to do. Fun spread, lots of cards. So let's get started. First card up on deck. right? This is our current situations. We got a little Six of Wands action. How about that? Some victory, some growth, some moving ahead, going to a new realm. I love in the Rider Waite the horse on the Six of Wands too. What a cheeky little coy guy there. Ooh, a little coy peckish look there. Peckish, is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But current situation, Six of Wands. So this is a card of growth, adventure, passion, moving into a new situation. Victory is a word that comes up quite a bit. So that's cool. That's what we're going to be looking at in October as our main dominant theme. Let's look at the challenge. Ooh, Eight of Cups reversed, right? So Eight of Cups is this card of kind of, there's an imbalance, right? You have the Eight of Cups. The way the cups are positioned, there's 5 on the bottom, 3 on top. It's like an unbalanced positioning. You could have 4 and 4 and have this symmetry, but you don't. And that can be kind of cups, right? We're dealing with emotions, water. This is like us looking, kind of moving on, right? But also being a little bit frustrated. This is that energy I was talking about, kind of that frustrating energy, that moving on, stuck energy. Things aren't really working. 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, 2 steps back type of stuff. And this very much would have to do with our feelings and our moods. So we're just going to be that juxtaposition between this victorious growth energy and the frustration that can come, kind of knowing that we're getting to a place where change is happening, positive change, new adventures, new situations, but then also being kind of frustrated. It's like sensing, it's like knowing this awesome shit is on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't get it right yet, right? And that's a little frustrating. Who doesn't like that? But again, it poses a useful challenge for us to kind of see how we deal with adversity and how we kind of maintain our composure when things aren't going exactly as we would like them to go. Right? So that's cool. Let's look at our past, right? What's going on in our past situation? Queen of Pentacles reversed. Who can't relate to this, right? Queen of Pentacles, we're talking about kind of abundance, material comfort, but we have this reverse position, right? So in the past, we may have lost some of that comfort or security that comes from the material world or abundance. And this doesn't just have to be material stuff and money. It could just be a sense of well-being, but the Queen of Pentacles, when she's upright, is like this very comforting, kind of secure position on the throne of like beauty and things coming in. And when it's reversed, we kind of feel like maybe we lost that a little bit. Maybe that's not as secure and as comfortable as we would like it to be. For those of us who have been involved in crypto or the stock markets or any investing stuff, we definitely can relate to this card, right? Things were just booming and going awesome, and it was just euphoria. And then a lot of us got the rug pulled out from under us, right? What the fuck? Where did that existence go where we were the richest, coolest people alive go? It's still there. Don't worry. It's still there. It's still innately within you, but feelings of loss and kind of this change in energy is something that I think a lot of us are dealing with right now. And it's not, again, just material stuff. It is, it's emotional security. What is that? What is that? Oh, I see. I see what it is. It's my PlayStation controller making noise. That's fun. So yeah, just Queen of Pentacles energy. I sense that a lot of people are also going through this kind of lack of abundance feeling, lack mentality. It's okay. It's still there. She'll be coming around the mountain. Don't worry. What do we have to look forward to? Yes. 7 of Cups. Choices, choices, choices. What will you choose? Right? And this again fits in line with kind of this energy of wanting to move forward in a positive aspect, but not necessarily knowing how, or being kind of stymied or frustrated as we make inroads or seemingly try to make inroads towards what we want to do next, right? And again, if you don't have the clarity of exactly what you want to be doing right now, don't freak out. First of all, a lot of people are in that exact same boat. Don't let influencers on social media or people who are just seemingly killing it all the time. This is a dominant energy. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. Trying to figure out what our next step will be is not the easiest thing right now. But again, it's how do we live in that energy and also maintain a positive outlook and feel good about our ability to manifest and create a world that we want to live in, that we want to be fulfilled in, that we want to experience the things that we're interested in experiencing. So in terms of choices, right, this really has a lot to do with your emotions, how things feel. Don't feel overwhelmed if there's a lot of different things you could potentially be choosing from. Trust that the answer will come from you. If you want to apply the imaginal technique here, go to the end. Go to where you've already made the decision about what it is that you are going to do that's going to make you feel fulfilled, and you're just relaying it to a friend or a loved one of like, wow, what an amazing decision I made. It's awesome how great things worked out. You do not need to know the specifics of that decision or situation. We often want to kind of superimpose our beliefs or desires or a specific thing into what will make us feel fulfilled. Don't do that. There's a lot of fun in the mystery and kind of joy of discovering, wow, this unexpected thing made me feel so happy and fulfilled. So you don't have to nail exactly what the thing is. That said, if there's something you're clear about and you know it's what you want and would like to experience, by all means, go ahead, get to work, do that heavy imaginal lifting and get some fucking results and plan. Don't expect it right away. You could get it right away, but don't expect it right away. That fucks with our kind of perception, right? You want it too much. Ugh. Let go. Gentle, right? So what's our conscious mind focusing on right now? Knight of Wands reversed. So Knight of Wands, right, is this card of adventure, passion, movement. There can be some trepidation, some hesitance with that because, you could be moving a little faster than you want to. A lot to do with spirituality. We see the three pyramids, right? Ascension, growth. We see the lizard, the Ouroboros, this kind of cyclical nature of time that's a spiral that goes upwards. This is our path. This is how we gain perspective on different situations. We deal with patterns and themes cyclically. Reversed, right? You might not be feeling super flowy and spiritual right now. That's okay. It's no big deal. A lot of this reading is just going to be saying, it's okay. Don't worry. We got this shit. It's going to be fine. But yeah, if you're on a path and you kind of feel like you've been knocked off that path a little bit or the timeline isn't aligning with exactly what you wanted to have happen, that's what you're consciously perceiving, right? Again, conscious mind, logical mind, masculine mind, not the primary driver of our experiences. The subconscious mind, the feminine, the intuitive is really the generative thing here. This is what we summon. This is why we're always trying to create that bridge between our conscious and our subconscious so we can gain that perspective and fluidity in terms of moving up and down this like vertical line of awareness, right? Hopefully up, sometimes down, but it's cool. Like we might just be feeling a little overwhelmed. We may be feeling a little stuck. We may be feeling that our passions are not as the flames of our passions are not being stoked as much as we would like. But it's cool. All things are impermanent, and that is ultimately a very good thing. How boring would it be if things were just permanent forever? Terribly boring. Terribly boring. So boring, in fact, a divine being may create a world where we have chaos and uncertainty, just to change it up a little bit. Get a little spice in here, right? We don't want bland seasoning. We don't want nothing. We want a little spicy, a little caliente. Ooh, it's a nice. I don't know what I'm doing. Please disregard the accents. It happens sometimes. It's been a long day. Subconscious mind, what's popping up? Booyakasha, the Chariot, right? Balance. This is why even if you may feel consciously like things are not going, like, I'm not doing exactly what I wanted to do, underneath it, we do have this impeccable sense of balance and being able to direct our dark and light energies towards a goal that we feel confident about. This is movement. The Chariot is a Cancer card, the zodiac sign. This can have to do with our feelings, our home life, our sense of security. We will be able to move ourselves from a deep and fundamentally important and powerful place, our subconscious, right? It is working in our favor. We can trust that when we really grok and grasp the power of our imagination, our consciousness, our awareness, our sense of I am, whatever you would like to call it, that is a balanced place. So maybe this is happening for some of you, but like, you ever just like shit is going not so great, but you still feel kind of good? Like, it's a weird feeling. Sometimes it's the other way. Like, things are going great externally, but you don't feel good. This is kind of the flip of that right now. Consciously, we may sense, like, we look out in the world, global economic collapse, everything is getting fucked up. There's war. Who knows what's going on? It's like an environmental shit. We got natural disasters everywhere. But underneath that, I feel like this might be a contrarian view. I do sense that we have this like amazing path kind of laid out for us, for those of us who want to jump on that timeline and kind of like really get things rocking in a cool way. We have the ability to move ourselves there in a pretty powerful way. So just know that that is lying beneath the surface of our consciousness. There is this stability. There is this equanimity. There is this balance. So that's so cool, right? It's not a bad thing. I don't know why the accents are happening. I am so sorry. Who knows? All right, advice. What shall we do? Yes. 9 of Cups, the card of contentment, right? The card of being able to sit comfortably in ease, relax, take it easy. Shit is good. You chillin'. That's the advice right now. Get into that mindset. It will serve you well. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Really doesn't matter. That is the place to be. Contentment, security, peace, comfort, especially in our emotional lives. That's really what we want to kind of harness and grasp as much as possible. Maybe things haven't gone exactly according to your plans over however many months or even years. Just know, if you can sit into that feeling of comfort and contentment, guess what starts to happen? Guess what starts to happen in your life? It's not bad. It's good, right? Okay, cool. Very fun reading, huh? External situation. Yes. A lot of Wands and Cups here. Very, very cool. We have 7 of Wands reversed, right? So 7 of Wands can be defending a position, can be the card of anger, but really it's like defending, having to like defend your ground, right? Defend your position. You may be looking out in the world and saying, why I don't want to have to defend my way of being right now. It's difficult. I don't want to have to go and explain to everyone why I feel the way that I do and why I'm moving towards the thing I'm moving towards. And it can feel difficult to do that. This is a very like Mercury retrograde card, right? Communication issues, failure to communicate, setbacks in some ways. And it speaks to kind of just the vibe right now, right? And it's what we've been speaking about. When I say we, I mean me. This kind of frustrated energy, this difficult kind of like, I would like it to move, please. Can we move? Can we get some fucking action in a positive direction? And not being able to communicate to ourselves and other people how we would like to do that, right? And again, there can be some defensiveness going in there. If you notice yourself getting defensive, it's all right. It's all good. Chill out a little bit. There's nothing to be defensive about. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. All you have to do is explain yourself to yourself. Right? Catch your thoughts. Be on guard for feelings and thoughts and emotions that are not serving you, right? It doesn't help anyone for you to beat up yourself, even if you're not in the position you'd like to be in. It just doesn't help. It doesn't alleviate anything. It doesn't move you towards a better sense of joy or contentment or fulfillingness, right? It's just, take it easy, huh? take it easy. Every card can have an accent now. That's a shame. I truly apologize. But yeah, this Seven of Wands here, there could be some seeing defensiveness out in the world. Could be yours, could be other people's. A little sensitivity there. It's okay. It's all right. It's all, Jesus Christ, the accents. I'm so sorry. Hopes and fears, star reversed. Okay. This is a big one, right? This is living up to our ascendant potential, one of the luminaries in the tarot, right? The star, the moon, and the sun are the luminaries. This ascendant light, this ability to reach our fullest potential and really achieve our dreams and our truest, like self-actualization, right? Reverse here, it may be a little difficult to tune into what that is right now. Okay, that's all right. We know, though, from the card that there will be a balance between our emotions and kind of the dream world and our intuition, what is not seen, and having our feet on the ground of reality and being in the world and logic and reason. There needs to be a balance there. Do not, I don't want to say do not, but if you get too skewed in either direction, it's hard to reach your maximum potential. And especially even if you reach it, to kind of stay there or exist there. So we want this balance to reach our truest potential between masculine and feminine, light and dark. I don't want to say good and evil, but just, this subconscious conscious. That's we want the harmony between those. And our fear would be is that we're unable to actualize that. We're unable to tap into that and stabilize it. Our dreams would be, our hopes would be that, of course, it's inevitable that we will do that. That is what our life path is. That's why we come here and do the things we do. I was listening to a Neville Goddard talk. Also, I highly recommend, whether it's Neville Goddard or whoever kind of like floats your boat, if you notice you're kind of like digging through news or media that just isn't really adding to your life, go find like a text, go find an audio book or a video that like really speaks to a deeper part of your being and start replacing some of that media that you're taking in that maybe is a little superfluous or not that great. All of the news, and replace it with something that speaks to like a deeper part of your being. It's just a nice, easy little life hack. And it does, life hack, did I just use that term for fuck's sake? But it is something that really pays dividends when you do that, right? It's like feeding yourself good food that nourishes your body rather than this junk. Like junk is fine too. Don't get me wrong. You need some balance there, but junk all the time is not going to like lead to great results, right? Physically, if that's what you're doing. So just, find things that replace you. So you can replace like traditional media with like deeper stuff. So one thing I was revisiting is this idea that when you die, right? Our goal here is to reach this Christed self, right? This ability to recognize that the divine is us, that everything we hear is God and Christ-like, and this ascendant perfect being, that is us. That's our story. It's our individual and collective story. And our goal is to realize that and use that to kind of, spread the good word to as many people and ourselves as possible to live like a harmonious, loving, generous life, right? That's what we're doing here. But if we don't do that and we happen to perish, we do not reincarnate as a bug or a different person. Yes, it's a multidimensional reality and world, and there's all this stuff that goes on, and that also happens. But for all intents and purposes, what happens is you go back to a younger version of yourself, somewhere usually in like the teenage years or, 18 or so, could be younger, but you play this game, this role over and over again until you get it. And if you think about your life experiences, how you phase in and out of consciousness, even the act of going to sleep at night and waking up, it is kind of what happens, isn't it? Like, you can't remember exactly being born. You were. There are people in your lives who remember that. But you do kind of just pop in at times, right? You do just kind of pop into consciousness. You disassociate and come back do some ketamine. I haven't done ketamine in so long, by the way, Jesus Christ. I was on Sean and Cass's podcast the other day. Go check that one out. Very 8 podcast. And I was just saying, like, I have not done ketamine in well over a year, I think. That DMT trip really fucked me. I did so much ketamine and DMT and acid and nitrous and weed and kratom at the same time, and it just threw me for a fucking loop. And I kind of put the pauses on that, but ketamine will teach you that. Like, you don't, your experience of reality, while it feels like it continues, the spider is slowly making his way towards me. Motherfucker, please don't. Just like, I don't need this smoke right now, right? But our feelings of kind of consciousness and this linear continuity is not as solid as we would like to believe. It's relatively inconvenient to know how inconsistent and nonlinear things are. But, you know, again, our goal is to reach our fullest potential, right? Not in a hokey, like, you can do it type of way, but like, you want to live your best life. And that doesn't mean the smoothest, easiest life. It just means you want the experiences you came here to get. You did not incarnate to be frustrated constantly. Maybe you did. I'm sure some people did. That's not what I came here to do. You came here to actualize. You came here to realize you're in charge of your life in so many more ways than you could possibly imagine. Hopefully start imagining some of those ways. But you really, like, that's our goal here. It's not to get a job and go to work and, you know, yeah, of course, finding relationships and all these things add to these components and themes that we want to kind of like live. But it really is that, like, this is your existence. What a wonderful, magical, amazing thing is. Don't worry about squandering it. You get as many tries as you need, and you're the person determining when that quota or goal is met, right? And the star here really points to, this is like, we sense this on a deep and intuitive level. We sense that this is true. And it can be scary because, like, no one, I think, like, one of the greatest fears in life, especially, like, I know for me, is like not meeting your potential, not doing the things that you know you're capable of doing, right? Everyone deals with this on some level. And it can be very difficult and very trying. But at the end of the day, when you assume and appropriate the state of empowerment, you know that you're more than capable of doing it, and you will do it. I can promise you will. Like, there's only so many people listening to this podcast, to me speak, right? There's not a ton of you. There's a pretty good amount, I gotta say, but like, you didn't find this by accident. This wasn't a mistake. There's a reason you're tuning in, and the core message of what I try to speak about, you know, as authentically as possible, is like, this is you. You're in control. This is your shit. You are doing this. What seems external is not. It is coming from within. I am just a character playing a role in your life to get you to hopefully remember that. And then you take the reins, and then you go on your adventures, and you get this sense of fulfillment and beauty and joy and love. And you get to bring that wherever you go, right? And you get to experience all like the dark shit too. That's cool too. It's not just, again, we wouldn't have the ability. There would be no reference. There would be no, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But the contrast, that's the word I'm looking for. If there wasn't the contrast between light and dark, difficult and easy, it would suck. You wouldn't even know. It would just be boring. Like, legitimately boring. So that contrast is needed to show us kind of the power of some of these amazing experiences in life. Okay, cool. Outcome for October. I literally cannot stop the accents. I'm so sorry. They're not even good accents. They're like vague, weird. They don't even make sense. I'm sorry. Okay, October. 8 of Swords, right? Okay. This is a card of, I don't want to say self-imprisonment, but it's like you are binding yourself. You are making it more difficult to see your true potential, to see the path that gets you to where you want to go. No one else is stopping you. This is a self-imposed restriction. Also very easy to break out of, but the awareness has to be there that you have kind of put yourself in this self-imposed situation, right? You're away from your home, you may be away from your comfort zone, but you have placed yourself in a position that's precarious, surrounded by swords, bound and blindfolded. But that's your choice, right? It's a game you're playing with yourself. Not the easiest energy. I wish I had a more uplifting outcome card for October, but this feels right. This feels like very much on par with the energy we can expect in October, probably for the rest of the year. I'm not sure. I don't want to look too far ahead, but like the goal now is to recognize how you are restricting and limiting yourself. No one else is doing it. I don't care if you literally have someone, well, if someone's literally tying you up physically, even though it's still your responsibility, that's a different situation. But you're the person doing this to yourself. Don't beat yourself up about that. That is the easiest way to perpetuate the situation of restriction and frustration. So just know that this is you doing it. You have the ability to take off the bindings, take off the blindfold, navigate this path. The path may not be it's not like a red carpet rolled out for you. It's a little muddy. It's a little dirty. It's a little gloppy, right? Gloppy is the word I would use. Gloppy energy. That's okay. It doesn't have to be pristine every time to get where you're going. Just know that you are the person either helping yourself flourish and prosper or restricting yourself. If the tendency is to blame another, don't do that. Because it's just not accurate. It's just like playing this weird game with yourself that like isn't particularly fun, where it takes you longer to realize just like how in control of your life you actually are. So yeah, October, like just reviewing everything, we are on a victorious path. We are on something that is leading towards something pretty amazing and really designed for our growth, right? Your growth. That's really what it's about. But we're also doing some things that restrict our ability to see that and experience it. Our goal is to get to the bottom of what those patterns, emotions, whatever it is that's kind of, I don't want to say holding us back, but slowing us down. Right. And again, you don't have to feel like you plow through this shit and just like solve it immediately. The imaginal stuff is great for that. But once you plant your seeds, let it go. Shit will work out. If you're being stymied, if you're being slowed down, it's okay. It really is okay. Just please don't beat yourself up about it. This doesn't accomplish anything, and it's really not going to make you feel any better. And the goal here is to feel better, appropriate states of contentment, joy, right? That advice here, that 9 of Cups, right? Contentment. That's where we want to sit. That's where we want to live. That's the antidote for whatever outcomes may come in October and beyond. That is the place we want to live. That's the place we want to be able to access, especially during difficult or trying times. You are 100% able to access that. No matter what's going on in your life, it is a state you have access to. You may have lost touch with it. It may feel very distant. It may feel that you can't even see how to access that at all, but you do. It's an internal state. If you've experienced it before, you absolutely can experience it again. If you haven't experienced it, you still have access to it. Every possible emotion, everything that's on the spectrum of life is yours to potentially access. Take some time to get familiar with those states. Learn how to access them. It can even feel sometimes like you are literally tuning like an energy radio to get the signal that you want. Play around with that. That's going to be a skill moving forward in linear time that is more and more valuable. The ability to tune our emotions and our frequencies to resonate with things that feel good to us or feel functional and useful. That's like very, very important. The more we are able to do that, the smoother things should be for us. Because I don't think we're going through such a systemic overhaul of how the world works. And it's a natural byproduct when the vibrational frequency of consciousness is getting raised, that systems that have come before will ultimately get changed substantially or even be eradicated. And we're definitely in one of those periods for sure, right? And we also still have Saturn in Aquarius, this very kind of long arc of lessons dealing with kind of these airy principles of change and mental and emotional kind of like flux. Like we're learning big, long lessons in that realm right now. And that can be very difficult and it can be very trying. Just don't get too knocked off your center because it's just, it's all right. And if you do, it's all good in the hood. Don't worry about it. For real, I would tell you when it's time to worry. Trust me, I will. I don't know if that's really a time to worry as a functional thing. I guess, if it's like something is bearing down on you truly ominous, like, maybe you can be, but like worrying typically doesn't help anything. But again, any problem, any issue you're experiencing is a self-imposed one right now. I don't want to give the impression that like, oh, well, the energy's no good. Like, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's not your responsibility. It is your responsibility. It's 100% your responsibility. That's one of the most inconvenient things about what I talk about is like, this is your shit. You cannot blame anyone else. It's super annoying. Don't get me wrong. It's super fucking annoying. Do you know how much I want to blame other people for my problems? Do you know how much I want to blame other people for my inability to do things that I feel like I should be doing? That's all I want to do is please, just someone should volunteer so I can blame them. I don't have to deal with it myself. But you can't do that. It's so unsatisfying. It's so not accurate ultimately, which is why it's unsatisfying. So like, step up, put on your big boy and your big girl pants, your big pronoun pants, whatever it is, and, get to work. Chill. Your work is to feel content. Can you do that even if things don't feel particularly contenty? Contenty? Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. Can you do that though? That's your challenge for October, right? Recognize where your areas of self-imposed kind of restriction are. Feel yourself into contentment to how to deal with that. And you will be absolutely to see that you are on the road to victory and growth. Really, that's what it is. It's a road of growth. It's a path of growth. Yeah. Fun? I think it was fun. I think every time will be different. If we do another one of these during the month, we'll do that. We'll also start doing a lot more of these on Patreon. We'll have some interactive stuff. We'll do some live streams where we can pull some cards. If people have questions, we can get those done, kind of like mini readings for people, little like 5-10 minute things. So if you want to sign up for that, be my guest, patreon.com/synchronicity. We're getting it rocking. Shit's popping. I had to fix my computer screen. I broke it in Turkey. I had just been plugging it into an external monitor, and I watched this YouTube video, and it's like fucking hour and a half, 37 steps, and I really don't want to fuck it up, but I should do that so I can get the camera working again on the front of my computer. I have an external webcam, so it shouldn't be an issue either way, but I do need to do that. This is just me reminding myself publicly in front of everyone that I need to do that. But yeah. Shit's popping off. Things are good. I know what it took me to kind of get back to a place of feeling empowered, to the point where I can even do this podcast consistently and feel good about it. And there are other aspects of my life where I'm still working towards that sense of consistency and empowerment, especially in my creative life, right? Music stuff. Like, it has not been super easy for me to ignite the spark of inspiration or put myself in a position when the muse strikes that I'm there ready to do it. But I'm not beating myself up about it. It's just, it doesn't create good art. It doesn't inspire creativity, but you can be aware of what you can improve on without beating yourself up over it, right? Beating yourself up just creates this weird schism between what you want and what you feel like you're able to do. So, don't do that. Okay, guys, I think we did it. Didn't expect to record a podcast tonight, but the mood struck me. And so here we are. That's it for this week. I hope you have a great month. Don't worry, I will be back next week. I'm just saying I hope you have a great month because we just did the reading for the month. And that's it. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.